The AC/DC song of the day at Me Teach Guitar is Let There Be Rock, because today we rock. I got the Wolfgang out. Today we do power chords. This is garage rock at its finest. This is the Ramones. This is 3 chords and a Marshall stack. This is rock and roll, baby. I know you've been waiting for it. Let's get to it. So, hopefully you've been practicing your open chords, your majors, your minors, the bar chords, very important. And hopefully you've also taken some time to learn the notes of at least the top 2 strings of the neck. That's all I've taught you. Because just like with bar chords, the power chord is named for wherever the root is, your index finger. So there's no major power chords or minor power chords. It's just a power chord. Feel the power. Schwarzenegger, feel the power. So just like with the bar chord, here's the shape. It's virtually the same thing. You're just not hitting all the strings. You're only worried about the top 2 strings of whatever chord you're playing, maybe the top 3. So if I am going to play an A power chord, top string, 6th string, 5th fret is an A. Hopefully you know that by now. That's going to be our anchor. That's going to be our root. Our 3rd finger goes up 2 frets, moves down 1 string, and covers the rest of the strings. We're not going to be hitting all those strings. We're only going to be playing the top 2 or top 3. That's all it is. Turn on some distortion, hit the top 2 or 3 strings, A power chord. Move it down 2 frets. Now it's a G power chord. Move it back up 2 frets. It's a G. Move it up 2 more. It's an A. I got lost. This is an A. Move it down 2. It's a G. Move it up 2. It's an A. Move it up 2 more. It's a B. Do it fast. Awesome. How easy is that? You're already rocking and rolling. There are also root 5 power chords. They don't really call it that. They just call it a power chord, and you play it where you need to play it. So let's do a D power chord. Instead of doing the D power chord all the way up here, we're going to move down to the 5th string, 5th fret. That's a D. That's where our finger is anchored now. Same thing as the root 6 shape. The 3rd finger goes down 1 string over 2 frets and covers the rest of them. There's the D power chord. Same thing as the D power chord up here, just a little easier to play right here. There is a D. Move it down 2 frets, it's a C. Just like with a root 5 bar chord, I do not want to hit that top string. That top string does not play nicely with most of these chords. I'm going to hit it. Here's a C the way it's supposed to be played. Here's a C hitting that top string open. Unless you're going for that sound, which I don't think you are, although it is kind of cool, I guess. There's a place for it, but it's not a C power chord. That's a C power chord. So again, you have to know your notes on the top 2 strings to be able to hit those power chords easily. 2 tips I want to show you. Number 1, when you're playing a power chord, let's just go back to that A, 5th fret, 6th string. If I take my pinky and stretch it over 2 frets further, so if I'm on the 5th, my 3rd finger's on the 7th, I want to get my pinky up to the 9th. And if I just hit that 9th fret on that 5th string, wherever my 3rd finger starts, if I play that on and off, it adds a whole bunch of color to that chord. It's just a little flourish, like that little D thing I taught you way back when. This is like the basis to the blues. So if I just start playing that A in every, 2 and 4 beat, I'll just cover that 9th fret and take it off. Let's move it down to G. Move it back up. And if you get your strumming pattern down, that's a whole lot of the blues. It adds some color to it so you're not just doing this all day. Practice adding that pinky. Once you can get that power chord down, that's the easiest thing you're going to learn on guitar is this power chord. You got to be able to get that down relatively easily. Once it becomes second nature to you, start adding that pinky. There's one tip. Here's the second tip. When you're playing the bar chords rooted on the 5th string, let's go back to that D. 5th string, 5th fret is a D. And so my 3rd finger goes up to the 7th fret on the 4th string and covers the rest. And again, I only want to hit that first two or three strings. This time, I want to sort of intentionally mute that top string. Just like down here on that C chord, I don't want to hit that top string. So what I'll do is I'll take my 1st finger and I'll actually slide it up a little bit. And this is the one time I actually want to be just touching or grazing a string, because my 1st finger will now deaden that top string. So even if I do hit it by accident, you're not going to hear it. So here's the C the way it's supposed to be played. Here's the C with my finger just moved up a little bit, touching that top string. But I am going to hit all 6 strings. You can't hear that top string anymore. But if I go back to normal and hit the top string, you can hear it. Doesn't sound right. So when you start learning how to play those 5th string bar chords, power chords, I'm sorry, I keep messing that up. Those 5th string, see if you can't almost run your finger along the bottom side of that top string to get to where you are. It makes strumming so much easier. You don't have to worry about intentionally missing that top string all the time. Which gets tough when you're rocking out. You don't want to have to really concentrate that hard. But if you can learn to mute that 6th string using the tip of your 1st finger, you're golden. That's high voltage. That's not Let There Be Rock. Still AC/DC though. Matter of fact, while we're here, let's finish up using this. This is what I call my power chord box. You can't go wrong with this, I'll call it a shape or box. So what it means is, this is the one instance where the numbers don't mean fingers. It just means places you can go. So no matter where you start at the number 1, let's just again call it 5th fret, top string, just because it's easy. So let's just say that number 1 is the A. Number 2 goes up 2 strings. In this case, it's the B. Number 3 stays on the 5th fret, but goes down a string. In this case, it's a D. And then it moves up 2 frets again, number 4, to the E. So that's the box. Wherever you start, you can go 2 frets up, 1 string down, or 1 string down and 2 frets up. Those chords will always play nicely together. Okay, for instance, and they're all power chords. So I'll do that same pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's the 1. Let's go up to the 2. So all I did was make power chords starting on each of those numbers. And you can interchange those. Just stay in that box. I'll go 1, 4, 3, 2. 1, 4, 3, 2. 1. It always wants to resolve on the 1. I know that sounded a little weird, but all those chords can work together. You can even use that box and go down. So let's just say, let's stay on that A, the 5th, but now let's call that the 2. So instead of going up 2 frets, we're going to go down 2 frets to the 1, but stay inside that box. Back up. Let's go down to the 4. Back. That's the power chord box. You can't go wrong with any combination of those 4 power chords. Just remember that box. It's 2 strings separated by 2 frets. Okay. A couple examples of power chords and that box. High voltage. So there's an example. It started off with the box going up here. Basically, it would be the 4, the 3, and the 1. Then the verse just went 4 to 3. But then the chorus takes the box and goes down with it. So now we've moved the box to 2, 3, 4. High voltage, rock and roll. But it's still the same thing. It's still just these 2 strings separated by 2 frets either way. There's high voltage. Blitzkrieg Bop, 3 chords. It's the 1, the 3, and I shouldn't say that. According to the box, it's the 1 position, the 3 position, and the 4 position. I'm going to confuse you later on with that terminology. But for today, I'm just using that terminology. Hey, oh, let's go, shoot him in the back. Well, I don't know. I forget where it goes from there. But you can see it's the Ramones. It's 3 chords and you're done. That is a whole lot of their songs. Talk Dirty to Me by Poison. So what that is again, it's a C to a D to a G. But instead of playing the G here, they're playing the G up here on the 5th string. So you can see, just like I said before, you can play it either way. It just depends on how it needs to fit to the song. But they want the higher G, they want the G up and active. So instead of playing they play it up. But it's still power chords in that box. They just did that little slide up to that G. Even Dead Flowers, that song I showed you, I think it was, what, the first song I showed you? Second song? When you're sitting there in your silk upholstered chair. Guess what? If you play that power chords, it's still the powered chord box. It starts in a D, when you're down to an A, down to a G, back up to a D. Making bets on Kentucky Derby Day. Power chords. Just get into the habit of that. Use the power chord box and really try to work on being able to move down to that 5th string nice and fluidly and move the shape down, but also muting that 6th string. It's going to make your strumming so much easier if you can get used to just resting that 1st finger on the 6th string when you're playing a root 5 power chord. Makes it so much easier. All right, there you go. Long lesson, power chords. Practice, start rocking. Now you have the tools to friggin' whatever. It all sounds good. All right, that's it. The usual pop-ups. Go ahead and subscribe. I know that just rocked your face off. Once you've recovered, like this video. Why not? What else you got to do? All right, thanks. I'll see you next time.